My mother-in-law tried to get rid of my dog while I was at work, and now she's banned from meeting my baby. I'm 27 years old and 7 months pregnant with my first child. My husband, Mark, is 29. We have a 3-year-old Newfoundland named Barnaby. He weighs 140 pounds of pure lazy fluff. He's never hurt a fly. But my mother-in-law, Sharon, who's in her 50s, is convinced Barnaby is a wolf in sheep's clothing. She constantly makes comments like, "He's going to suffocate the baby," or "It's unhygienic to have a beast like that near a crib." Yesterday, the nightmare happened. I was at work. I got a notification from our Ring doorbell at 10:45 a.m. I opened the app and saw Sharon unlocking our front door with the emergency key we gave her. 2 minutes later, she walked out dragging Barnaby by his collar. He looked confused, but followed her into her SUV. I immediately called her, straight to voicemail. I called Mark, screaming that his mother was stealing our dog. We both rushed home, but she was gone. She didn't answer her phone for 2 hours. When she finally picked up, she sounded calm, almost smug. She said, "I handled the problem. I took him to a farm sanctuary where he can run free. You'll thank me when the baby is born safe." I lost it. I demanded the address. She refused. Mark finally screamed at her that he was calling the police for theft. She cracked and admitted she didn't take him to a farm. She dropped him at a high-kill shelter 3 counties away, a 2-hour drive. She told them he was an aggressive stray she found on the highway, so they wouldn't trace his microchip immediately. We sped there. I was hyperventilating the whole way. Thankfully, because Barnaby is a specific breed, the shelter hadn't processed him yet. We had to pay a $150 redemption fee to get our own dog back. He was shaking in a concrete kennel. When we got home, I changed the locks. I sent a text to Sharon and the family group chat. "Because you tried to kill our dog, you have lost all privileges to meet your grandson. Do not come near my house, or I will file a restraining order." Now, Mark's side of the family is blowing up my phone. His sister called me a hormonal psycho. She said Sharon was just trying to protect the baby from a dangerous animal. Even Mark is saying a permanent ban is too harsh. He said she acted out of love, even if it was twisted. I'm refusing to budge. Am I the a-hole? Did I overreact, or was my mother-in-law completely out of line? Let me know what you think. I'm sitting on a balcony in Mexico, sipping a margarita, while my husband is blowing up my phone. He's calling me a heartless child hater. Am I the a-hole? Here's the story. I'm 29. My husband Mark is 34. We've been married for 3 years. We never had a honeymoon. We used the money for his custody battle over his daughter, Bella. She's 12. I love Bella, but the last 2 years have been rough. I work 2 jobs to support us while Mark finishes his degree. For our anniversary, I planned a reconnection trip, 6 months of planning. I saved $5,000. A week at an exclusive, adults-only, all-inclusive resort. No work, no kids, just us. Mark agreed. He seemed excited. 2 days ago, while I was packing, Mark came in with a nervous smile. This is where it gets bad. He said, "Don't be mad." But Bella was crying about us leaving, so I bought her a ticket. She's coming with us. I froze. I reminded him the resort is strictly 18 and up. He shrugged. He said, "I know." He figured we'd just forfeit the reservation and stay at the Holiday Inn down the strip. It has a slide. I saw red. He expected me to throw away a non-refundable $5,000 booking, money I worked overtime for, to stay in a budget motel and babysit during our anniversary. When I refused, he said, "It's just a hotel. Bella is family, you're being rigid." I gave him 2 choices. He comes with me as planned, or he stays home with Bella. He thought I was bluffing. This morning, the Uber arrived. Mark stood in the driveway with Bella, looking smug, waiting for me to load the family luggage. Instead, I got in the car alone. He screamed that I was abandoning them. I told him I booked a vacation for my husband. If he's not coming, I'll enjoy it for both of us. Now his mom is texting me. She says I've traumatized Bella, that I'm a monster for choosing a pool over a child. I feel guilty, but I also feel like my boundaries were bulldozed. So, am I the a-hole? Did I overreact, or was my husband completely out of line? Let me know what you think. My husband sold my deepest secrets. For profit, He even bought our house with the money. I'm currently locked in the guest bathroom. My husband is banging on the door, asking if I'm over it yet. I'm a 27-year-old woman, and he's 32. We've been together for 5 years. Mark is a buttoned-up CPA, very vanilla, or so I thought. I'm a massive fan of this anonymous romance author, Ruby Velvet. Her books are spicy, raw, and incredibly specific. I've bought every copy. I even read passages to Mark in bed. Yesterday, Mark left his laptop open to grab a DoorDash order. I saw a Scrivener file open. I peeked, expecting a tax spreadsheet. Instead, I saw Chapter 14 of Ruby Velvet's unreleased sequel. I started reading, and nearly threw up. The main character, Leela, has a phobia of red nail polish because of a traumatic incident with an ex-stepfather. I have that phobia. Leela has a birthmark on her inner thigh shaped exactly like a map of Italy. I have that birthmark. But that's not even the worst part. Then I got to the smut scenes. It wasn't fiction. It was a literal play-by-play of our anniversary night at the hotel in Chicago. The dialogue was exact. Beg for it, sweetness. He said that to me 2 weeks ago. He's been transcribing our private intimacy and selling it to thousands of women on Kindle Unlimited. I frantically clicked over to his business folder. He made $142,000 last year from these books. That's how we afforded the new Tesla. That's how we paid off my student loans so quickly. When I confronted him in the kitchen, holding the laptop, he didn't even look ashamed. He laughed. He actually said, "Why are you mad? You love those books. You're literally your own favorite character. Plus, that royalty check just cleared the mortgage." He thinks he's a genius provider who turned our love life into art. I feel like an unpaid cam girl who didn't sign a release form. He says if I make him stop writing, we lose the house and the lifestyle. Am I crazy for feeling violated? Or is this just passive income gone wrong? Did I overreact, or is he completely out of line? Let me know what you think. My husband is sobbing. He thinks his mother hates him, but I'm the one who made it happen. I'm a 29-year-old woman. My husband is 32. For 5 years, his mother, Linda, has been a nightmare. She wore white to our wedding. She accidentally spilled red wine on my couch, and she constantly whispers that I trapped her son. The problem? My husband is a total mama's boy. Every time I cried, he'd say, "That's just how she is, babe. She loves us in her own way." 6 months ago, she called me barren at a family barbecue because we haven't had kids yet. Mark just stood there. That was my breaking point. I bought a burner phone and a number spoofing app. Linda isn't tech savvy, so I told Mark she got a new number for her business. Then the text started. I sent vile messages from her to him, things Linda would definitely think, but usually wouldn't type out. I wrote things like, "I wish you demarried Jessica instead of that trash you're with," and "You've always been a disappointment to your father and me." The final straw? A text I sent 2 months ago, "Don't bother coming for Christmas. I don't want to see your pathetic face." Mark broke down. He finally blocked her on everything. He changed the locks. For the first time in our marriage, we had peace. It was bliss. But this morning, Mark's aunt called. Linda had a massive stroke. She's in the ICU, intubated. The doctors say she likely won't wake up. Mark is distraught. He's blaming himself, thinking his silence caused her stress. He keeps saying, "I just want to ask her why she said those things before she goes." I am standing here, with the burner phone buried at the bottom of my gym bag. If I tell him the truth, he will divorce me. If I don't, he will live the rest of his life thinking his mother died hating him. I feel like a monster. But part of me is relieved she can't talk to deny the texts. Am I wrong for taking this to the grave? Would you take this secret to the grave, or tell him the truth? Let me know what you think.